It's a night of cold and winter flurries. To stay warm, Letterkenians all hurry. Indoors where they keep, and either they fall asleep or take a run at Bonnie McMurray.
That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we are once again hanging out at the produce stand. Podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show, Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one is sweet on Bonnie McMurray. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt, the very sleepy Victor. And joining us tonight, he is the bearded Commodore of memes, engineer for the Star Wars Culture Podcast, member of the True North Elite, a patron and a good guy. He's a really good guy. Please join me in making some noise for Chad.
Wondrous.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Wait. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I regret nothing.
Welcome back to the Produce Stand, Chad. Once again, wearing the Keswick dinner jacket. Very, very good. I feel like I may have a matching one coming to me soon. So
You and Katie dressed to match today, I see.
I know.
Well, first of all, I've always worn this coming on the Produce Stand proper.
Always.
So you don't fuck with tradition. So
That's right. You don't fuck with tradition.
Gotta look good. Gotta look fucking good
Very good. All right. So
for this audio podcast.
yeah,
How are you now?
tonight's lineup is Matt, Al, Victor, Tanya, and our guest Chad will have the last word. Matt, how's your week?
Oh, fuck it.
Oh, that's good.
It's been a shit show. Absolute shit show. But it's okay. Yeah, I mean, it just seems, I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde or whatever those sayings are.
I don't know what any of that means. Ask Eliza.
It's just a hot mess after a hot mess after a hot mess. But, I'm here tonight and I'm happy. I'll give you an example. So last night, wifey went out to help a friend of hers, so left me with all three of the hooligans. And through the course of dinner, one of them spilled his entire drink all over the dinner table, including his meal. So that was fun. My youngest threw up all over himself.
Oh,
there's a couple of things that happened. So it was just one thing after another. That was a wrecking ball. And then was it this morning? Yes, this morning. I think I've talked about it. So I have 3 kids, 2 from a previous relationship, and I drive my kids stay with me on Wednesday nights, and I drive them back to school, which is about a half hour, 45-minute drive from here. On Thursday morning, so that would have been this morning, and we get there and it's a disaster here in Toronto. Like, it's been raining, it's muddy, it's messy. Mm-hmm. So I drop off my oldest at his school. I take my 8-year-old to his. He's out there playing, having a good time, and I kid you not, maybe 30 seconds before the bell rings, I wave at him, and then he tries to come towards me, and he slips and bails and biffs into a mud puddle.
Oh my!
Like completely. I just and he just froze. Like, what do I do? I'm like, I'm so mad at him. Why did you do this to me right now? So I grab him. I'm like, tell your teacher we're not going yet. And I call his mother, and luckily she lives by, and luckily she answered the damn phone. And I said, we're coming. You need to have clothes ready because he needs to change. So we did that, and that was fun. So it's just been it's been fun. And then tonight we actually end up having them again tonight. For other unforeseen reasons. And we tried to do family Christmas photos. And if anyone has ever done family Christmas photos with their children, I guarantee you the smiles in the photos do not match the tone at which took place leading up to said photo.
So
because
true.
Holy fuck.
We've all been there.
It's a photo of lies is what it is.
Exactly.
And it took about 7.
The hope is, 20 years from now, when you look back on them, that you forget all the pain and you only remember,
you can't forget the lie like this. And
yeah, you'll forget it.
Oh, and again, my 8-year-old, I don't know. He's a space cadet, man. And we're taking these photo and we're like, look here, just lower the point, like touching the screen, like just don't move your eyes from here. We take the photo. He's like looking at the wall. We're like, what happened? You had one job. So, anyways, it's been a fun week.
Herding cats.
But herding cats. But I'm really excited to be here. This is so much fun. This is my high. So I'm gonna roll it out with a bottle of rye.
My favorite is when you finally get a picture where the kids are looking right at the camera, and it's the adults who are like looking elsewhere or frowning or not smiling. Like, holy fuck! Like, you should at least be able to hold the smile and look at the camera.
Yeah, it just doesn't go well.
We did that for so many years. We did the family portrait every year, and the kids' picture. I think leading up to the age of 5 with their number, and we were big into that.
Here's a pro tip: if you want the kids to behave and actually have fun and enjoy those shoots, I don't know if you like go to a professional photographer or not. Let them organize the shoot. So we found that when Owen's really small, or even when Veronica was really small, we'd say, "What do you want to do?" And then they would like have fun posing you and take. So you come up, you have pictures that look ridiculous, but at least they're smiling in it because they're laughing their ass off because they're doing a helicopter on your back while you're on all fours or something.
That is exactly the shot. It was, and then when we had our daughter, he's like, okay, the baby should be on the bottom, and then I'll pile on top of her, and then you pile on top of me, and then dad's on the very top of it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, because we can balance that.
So they're ridiculous pictures, but they're laughing because they're having a good time doing it. And in the end, that's all you care about, right?
Yeah. It sounds fun.
It's ridiculous, the whole thing. You know, the best worst family shot was your brother's family of 5, because they're merged as well, and us and your parents, and we thought that would be a perfect Christmas present to your parents, and trying to coordinate all that. Wowza.
It was like herding the 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
Anyway, my week. Maybe I'll leave this for Tanya's turn. So I'll just talk about the weekend when I watched the Beatles Get Back doc, which was amazing. Holy fuck. It was so good.
To watch that.
I loved it. Part 1, amazing. Part 2, amazing. Part 3, really good. Like part 3, it got a little tedious for part 3, but man, if you're anywhere near a Beatles fan, it was I think 8 hours. I think 8 hours of footage, but I could have taken more. It was so well done.
And is this from like I'm dying to watch? I just haven't had the time. But is it like, I know it's real footage, but is this recycled footage? Has it been used in other places?
Back in maybe in the 70s or whatever, they released a film called Let It Be, which was the making of the album Let It Be, and basically. In 1 month, they wrote all the songs and practiced them. And the idea was they were going to do a show at the end of the month. And that ends up being that live performance that they do on the rooftop of their building, which it ends up being the last time the Beatles ever played live. So that movie was 80 minutes, and it was a very heavily edited and yes, we'll get to your sword in a second, edited and toned down movie. This one here was a lot more raw. So basically Peter Jackson, because there was like hundreds and hundreds of hours of audio and video footage, and he got it all, and he captured some golden moments that weren't captured in the original movie, like moments where Paul McCartney's writing Get Back, where he's writing Let It Be, where George Harrison's writing Old Brown Shoe, and you're watching the moment that these songs come to life. Like they're just strumming, and then suddenly, hey, that chord progression sounds hey, that's fucking Get Back. And it's crazy like how it happens. And you're basically awesome. You're witnessing history. But anyway, I can't recommend it enough. What's that, Chet?
Well, if somebody who knows like hundreds of hours, Peter Jackson's the right guy to do it.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Those Lord of the Rings movies, there's so much that's still left on the editing table that we haven't seen.
They can make a whole second series out of that.
They probably could.
Yeah. Somebody had a hilarious post on Twitter about Peter Jackson making yet another movie where a group of I forget what it was, but it was hilarious, where he kind of equated.
Well, the Beatles like originally approached J.R.R. Tolkien about making the Lord of the Rings as a movie.
Oh, really?
And they were gonna
produce.
They were gonna be the Hobbits. No, they were gonna be the Hobbits.
They were gonna be in the movie. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were gonna like produce it and start, but come on, Tolkien shot that down like so fast.
Right.
No. No vision.
No vision.
I mean, the dude was probably like 80. You know, he was born like end of like turn of the century.
Right.
Kind of
Goddamn hippies trying to ruin my shit.
Yeah, it's probably like I wrote these books. I spent time. Why I don't want these hippies to ruin it.
Anyways, a historical document. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Victor, how was your week?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's a long week, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday we had our winter get together with our entire digital HR team,
Cool.
Which is like around 150 people, all on a meetings call.
Oh dear.
Oh, man.
With yeah.
That
So
sounds
we
like
had
torture.
Well, you know what? It was all right. Yeah, I think everybody had fun. It was 2 hours and it went by so quick. You know,
That was just everyone saying hi.
Taking turns.
Yeah. I mean, we had it pretty well organized, and then we used the whole breakout room feature. We put people in groups, and they came back. It was all right. I mean, you know, you do what you can with what you have, right?
Sure.
And it was all right. But it was a long day, and you know, for me, it was a bit of an early start. But there's people that were joining that it was like 4 o'clock in the morning for them, and for other people, it was 9 in the evening and stuff like that. So, but it was all for fun, right? So people they enjoyed it.
So when you were doing your homework, watching this episode, did you fall asleep?
So anyway, so I'm getting to that. So the day started early for me. I woke up like, I think 5:30 in the morning for that. And then I did have a 7:30 call that I needed to kind of need, like a business call with our friends in Vietnam. And so by the time I was done, then I went to watch this episode. So I was a little tired, and I was my brain wasn't very active when I was watching it, which is, I think, okay for watching a comedy show. But so that was, so I'll put that out there. So that's a caveat. But anyway, today I was in the office with my team, so we had a good time. We went and had lunch together and all that kind of stuff. But then after work, I went to the gym, and while I was at the gym, I decided to listen to the podcast you recommended. My dad wrote a porno, and I couldn't stop listening. I hammered through 6 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You hammered it, did you?
It was so good.
Yeah.
But it's like, just, you know, for those that have no idea what this is, it's not what you think. Like
it's beautiful.
It's so good. It's something you could go and listen with your.
Well, it's kind of exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I loved it for that.
That's my plan for tomorrow, guys.
I've been listening
to work tomorrow.
Yeah, Tanya's been listening.
I've been listening to it all week.
It's her Christmas wrapping.
Yeah, this is totally not Christmas wrapping music that I'm used to. But God, I'm dying laughing, and their commentary to the whole thing. They've turned that thing
into a phenomenon. I told you, like, it started off with just the 3 of them, like doing what we're doing here, and now they're touring the planet, like filling the opera house. The guy's dad who wrote these books, I think they're like best selling like digital downloads and everything, because people are like, it's crazy what it's turned into. So
far, one of my favorite parts is where he starts calling one of his own characters by the wrong name.
Yes. Dolly or Donna or something.
It's like the second or third episode. He changes the name of a character.
Well, he doesn't have an editor, right? He just writes it and puts it out. It's like,
they're like, I'm pretty sure it's this woman, but we
character alert.
And I love how they've made phrases and words, a drinking game. I'm like, oh my God.
Nobody on this planet would not enjoy that podcast.
I can't think of any.
It's just it's brilliant.
There's probably a few, but I got to go to work tomorrow, so I'm going to listen to that all day.
It's entertaining for sure.
But listen to yourself. Do not have it on any loudspeakers.
Yeah. I mean, there's some risque.
But you're gonna.
It's very poetic. I mean, they're very polite, and but there are some questionable sections.
But you're gonna laugh out loud. You're gonna laugh out loud, and and you're gonna like almost cry laughing.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then somebody's gonna ask you like what you're laughing about, and then you're gonna have to try to explain it without being crude and offside for work.
Well, before we move on, I'll just say, just think deep down how sexy the name Belinda is, and you're in.
God.
You're in, bud.
Oh my God. It's-
First off, I'm listeting to this on the speaker because I have to, because I can't wear earbuds. Second off, I don't really care what people think about me. So,
I don't want you to get fired on HR infraction.
Also, it's the Weekend Crew, and nobody really cares.
All right, they might all enjoy it. Then you might have it like cranked.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
freaking
Imagine
hilarious.
being in a factory and having Belinda blinked, cranked.
It's just so funny.
You're gonna love it, my friend. You're gonna love it.
laugh.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
All right. Tanya, how was your week? You've been listening.
He already
to,
reserved what you get to talk.
Well, you've been listening to My Dad Wrote a Porno all week. Is that what you want to talk about?
He was about to pull him.
No, I was about to
do you.
He was going to skip over me because he knows.
Exactly.
So my week, so we've been like knee deep into Dexter, which I'm loving. Oh my
man.
God,
It's
that
just getting
show
better and better.
is like I
a couple episodes behind.
I love the character of his son. Is it a spoiler alert? Sorry. Anyways,
No spoilers.
It's a great. I love what they're doing. I still have to go back because I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what happened. That was like 10
Just
years ago.
enjoy the
or
ride.
something. Anyways,
We're doing fine.
yeah, it was great. But at the same time, simultaneously, I can't say that word. Anyways, at the same time,
Nailed it.
Wow.
we've been watching 6 Feet Under.
Oh yeah.
Which also has the same character
Michael C.
actor, and it's warping my brain because I have to jump from him being gay to him being
Dexter.
Yeah. So yeah, it's hard for me. It's a struggle. But the bigger news.
I'm sure there's gay serial killers. There's no reason to discriminate.
No. Michael C. Hall plays a very different character in 6 Feet Under.
I know.
But at the same time, he has a few mannerisms that are like that blinking and that looking up, that very distinct, like when he's.
Well, you can totally see where the Dexter creators saw him and said, "That's our Dexter."
Yeah.
Like it's totally there.
Perfect show. Anyways, the bigger news is that 21 years ago today, we got married.
That is correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Excelsior.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations.
that happened, and we had a
Congrats, guys.
lovely dinner tonight.
You did it, guys.
We did it. I know. We're now.
Oh my God!
If
I regret nothing.
if we really, wow,
Well played.
wow. Okay, so should I just be shutting up?
No,
on
Almost
that
at
one
a
there?
sped
Wow.
Coach is looking good tonight.
We have a very.
How did you know?
We have a very unique
he's gonna be up all-
relationship.
Al's gonna be up all night talking to Awesome. You know, that's how the post shows.
I know, right?
Sort yourself out.
Oh my gosh. No, but Al's taking the day off work tomorrow, and we're going to have a lovely lunch with each other and end the week off right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sounds like fun.
What a great opportunity. Chad, how's your week?
Yes, it was a week. That's for sure.
2 a week.
Yeah, 2 a week, guys. 2 a week. See, Monday I ordered some Letterkenny stuff like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Oh my God, that's
like
right.
a week ago.
Yeah.
Like a week ago, and I got the notification on my phone that it got delivered, and I was like, yeah. I got like a new hat. I got like the you can get like Derry's winter hat, the little like Dickie Thomas hat, and I got that, and I got the Letterkenny Irish hat, and then I got a shirt because needed to make it $75 so I can get that free shipping.
Right.
Because that's how they get you. Because that's how they get you.
Shipping would have been $10, but you went for the $20 shirt. Sure.
Sure. I got. I'll pay $15 more to get free shipping. All right.
That's
I feel you.
entrapment.
I would have done the same thing.
See, that's how they get you. But sadly enough, it got stolen.
Oh,
so,
no.
So I
What?
don't have my stuff. I reached.
You had a
out to
porch pirate?
So I live in an apartment complex.
Apartment pirate?
Apparently, somebody wanted Letterkenny gear, so now they got free Letterkenny gear.
Keep an eye open for your neighbors. See if anybody's walking around wearing a.
Charge that shit back.
That's nasty.
Yeah. So I reached out to Letterkenny and haven't heard. Like I was chatting with Awesome, the good buddy that Awesome is, and just like she was helping me out, and I would like send an email out to Letterkenny because they have that hey, contact us if something gone wrong with your order or something like that. So I reached out to them. Haven't heard anything back. I reached out Monday. It's Thursday. I was like, hopefully they fucking reach back up by like Tuesday. Or Tuesday.
Yeah, man. I hope so too.
And awesome was like, oh yeah, they'll probably help you out. Somebody will contact soon. And I was like, it's Thursday night.
Sucks, bro.
That sucks.
Well, look,
people are shitty, man.
I know. Like, I know.
You need Mark Rober on the job there. You need hit one of his patented anti-theft things.
He's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the building I live in is like terrible for mail.
Yeah.
First, like terrible for packages because they just like throw it in the fucking like front entryway.
They just leave them there.
Can you get for future reference? Can you get shit transferred to your work?
I work too far away for that. So it's just like kind of like I'm the like. Fuck
no,
it,
but I mean, like when you order something, you put your work address rather than.
Yeah, I probably could, but like
I used to do that.
Is there any possibility that one of your neighbors picked it up thinking it was for them, and then maybe you'll get it? Like
that's a possibility. But there's a possibility that it's also it's Thursday night,
right?
And you would have thunk that like, hey, oh shit, this package isn't for me. Like, put it back.
Yeah.
Like my roommate gets home from work before I do, so I was like, hey, did you grab my? Because usually like he'll check the mail when he gets in or like to see if we have something. Like I had like some pins that got delivered to me today and that were actually put in the mailbox. So like he grabbed it and he put it on my computer.
Is your roommate wearing a new hat?
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure he's never seen Letterkenny. He's one of them peoples. So, or he's been in the kitchen as I'm watching Letterkenny. He's probably like, what the fuck is this guy watching?
So he's like Tanya.
Yeah, like Tanya at first.
maybe let's hope that whoever it is, they know you and they're gonna wait to bump into you and make sure.
Kind of fucking doubt it. So,
well, we're always fantasizing that somebody from the show is actually listening to our podcast. So
somebody on the show.
Yeah.
I emailed you on Monday at like 11 o'clock at night, Central Time.
Get back to Chad. He needs his stuff.
Shoot me an email.
Chad
You can reach him at Chad BTI.
Yeah.
You could use some shit. Help a brother out.
Help him out.
They could use that.
Help out a produce stand listener.
Yeah. Yeah. But minus that, like the rest of the week was kind of decent. I was waiting on and like for work, like I have to wait for my glass to get cut, and I had an order due yesterday that got cut today. So I have to go into work because now I have Fridays off, and like it's been super fucking nice having Fridays off because I can stay up super late and chatting with Al and everybody at the post show. So join the DM group and come join the post show.
Yeah, let's do that.
Fun time.
Yeah, because we're not going long tonight because I'm going to be interrupting you all the time.
Oh, we're going long tonight.
And just skipping over me. So really, it's going to be like...
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Tanya, just going for Jan. So. Tanya's being actually replaced. The whole premise behind the show, Tanya's actually being replaced.
There you go.
I kid. But the rest of the week was decent.
Yeah.
I got my glass. I have to go in tomorrow because my boss is like, they really want this glass done. I was like, hey, how bad do they need it done? Because I don't want to come to work tomorrow. My boss is like, huge.
Time and a half, dude. Time and a half. It's Christmas.
Fuck it. I guess I need the money for I'll get the overtime.
Awesome.
There you go.
Overtime's always good, especially around the holidays. Cool. May I move on?
Oh yeah, no, I'm done.
Because some of us look tired here. Like Tanya, are you tired?
Yes.
Victor, you're really tired. You need a coffee?
Oh my God.
Am I coughing?
Have a coffee.
Am I tired or am I wanting a coffee?
I'm surprised we're taking a nap.
You need a coffee.
We're not taking a
We're
nap.
not taking a nap. All right, you need a coffee. All right, fuck off all.
You need a coffee. How about we try this?
Yeah, I need a
Al,
coffee. Do you need a coffee? I do need a coffee. Tanya, do you need a coffee?
Yeah.
Victor, do you need a coffee?
Matt, I could have a nap.
Matt,
I could have a nap.
Matt, would you like a coffee?
I'm
Matt,
really surprised we're not having coffee right now.
Can you do the rest of this ad read for me? Go for it. Wing it.
Diabolical
Great,
coffee
because
coming at you, 10% off.
Diabolical coffee
Oh, still, you can read it there, Tan. Go for it.
is now being served on the at the produce stand, not on the stand, just at the stand. It's devilishly good coffee and diabolically awesome swag. There is a roast for all tasters.
Tastes.
Oh, I
There's
see.
no
I
R there.
I can't see.
Oh, let me zoom in
It's too
for you.
far away. My glasses can only do so much.
This is going well.
You have a sexy voice, but you're
You
reading.
do, it's working. You should get her to
It's
record
working,
this.
but
I might,
It's not good on the
Al,
fly.
zoom in, Al.
There, I
All right, here we go.
And simultaneously, it is.
It isn't.
You are
It
a
is
hot
and
mess.
it isn't at the same
try
time.
it now.
Where am I?
There.
There is a roast for all tastes and even some you didn't know you wanted. You can order whole bean, coarse, and standard grind and espresso.
Espresso. There's no X.
Espresso. Or if you're like Al and me, there's a K-cup option
Al and I.
for single cup brewers. Okay, fuck y'all. Okay, get off my dick. Get off my dick. That's it
This
for
is going
me.
to be Eric's favorite ad read.
Did you used to work for a phone company?
I wanted to. Oh, that's the dream. That's the dream right there.
To be
Oh, am I
fair,
still-
she's halfway
To be
through her
fair.
glass.
To be fair.
And for the duration of season 9 of our podcast, you can use the promo code Produce Stand for 10% off everything in the store. Anything and everything. That's 10% off coffee and merch. Thank you, Diabolical Coffee, for your support on this season.
It's not that easy, is it?
Diabolical.
That's the hook that got Al 21 years
It's
ago.
it's not one that rolls off the tongue. I
No.
gotta say.
All right, now shoot Victor the follower list. Let's let him read that. That's fun. That's fun. Let's do it.
It's okay.
Oh, there's only
Wait,
5 people.
wait.
I could do that.
Wait,
I could
unless,
do
is there people from Massachusetts? Because we need him to say
No
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Okay,
Oh,
speaking
man.
of support, we have 5 new followers this week. Forever Dead, Andy Beals, Darren Shanahan, the Camp Evening Show from Boca Raton, Florida, and Santino Vanderwheelen from Madison, Wisconsin. I had a high school teacher named Vanderwheelen. I wonder if there's any relation there.
I've been to Madison. It's a good city.
Thanks for following and for hopefully listening.
Very good.
You're hired.
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed episode 4 of season 9, Mitzvah with our friend Awesome. That episode got a fresh rating from Tanya and Awesome and a clearance from the boys. According to our scientific Twitter poll, 68.2% of you gave it a fresh, 27.3% gave it a clearance, and 4.5% gave it a compost.
Wow.
Yeah. This week, we recap and review episode 5 of season 9, Sleepover. Matt, did you do your homework?
Just at the wire.
Okay.
But I did it twice. I back to back.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nicely done. I did it twice today, too.
I did my homework, Victor.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, you did.
Though very, very tired.
Oh,
I
that's
did.
sword
Okay,
talk.
Tanya, you did your homework.
I did it double time, 2 batches.
And Chad, you prematurely said that you did your homework. so-
Prematurely.
I did.
Exactly.
I did my homework. You know,
Don't bore us,
sometimes-
get to the chorus.
All right.
Holy, that was a cutoff right there. I'm
I
going to
just-
drink.
Thanks,
Drink. He
thank
cut
you
off
for-
Chad.
Yep.
Oh,
Cut me
perfect.
off.
Let's do that. Every time I cut Chad off, everyone has to take a drink. I love this game.
No, that was probably for the best.
All right, here we go. We open
This is
at
going well.
Modine's 3. Wayne, Darius, Squirrely Dan, Dickens are sitting at the bar with Gail. Gail tells them that her truck wouldn't turn over this morning. It took her 5 or 6 tries. The Hicks all look at each other, and then the mansplaining begins.
Well, what are you putting her? 5W30?
10W30? 10Ws 40s? 15W40.
2-stroke? 4-stroke? What kind of mile you get to the gallon?
What's your time to highway mileage?
Small crack in the windshield weakens the structural integrity of the entire vehicle.
Sounds like transmission. Manual transmission?
Automatic transmissions?
Semi-automatic transmission.
Planetary gear automatic?
Electronic pressure system.
Sounds like hydraulics.
New clutch.
No, you run a heating block in or overnight this time of year, right? How much rubber you got left on those tires?
You don't still have your summers on.
Winter should go on no later than mid-November, and most dealerships will store your summers if you go in a wee bit earlier.
Gail, what do you idle at?
Could be computer.
At there's mention of the computer, all 4 men drop their heads and start grumbling about computers on trucks. Gail says she hopes it's not the computer. This gets the men back on track. They ask Gail where she fills her truck. It's better not be out of town. Darius says if the dealer tells you premium, you go premium. He's got nothing to gain there. And then that turns the men's sights onto car dealers.
If you think the dealership has a second for you once the vehicle changes hands, I've got news for you.
All right, truck won't turn over. It's not his problem. It's not my problem. That's your problem. You get it in writing.
Oh, look at that. Dealer doesn't have a fucking pen. Happened to me. It'll happen to you.
They want a dicker with Monday details. Tell them that's fine. I'll go across the street.
I hate to be the one to tell you, but that truck loses 50% of its value the second you drive it off the lot. You broke down on the 401, are you? Guess he's not in the office today.
Ever take the 400 to Barrie early March? You don't want it.
The sliding ice don't get you. The falling ice will.
All right, the last truck you tried to sell me come with chrome nerf bars when I'm just fine with the factory rubber running boards. I said, I'm not paying for that. Not a damn thing wrong with the standard runners. 3 generations of dairy farmers tell you the exact same thing.
He wants an extra $1.10 for a turnkey lock for the fucking gas tank cover. I said I didn't fall off no turnip truck.
And then the mansplaining turn takes a dark personal turn.
Never sat in his chair once through the deal. Stood the whole time. He wanted that power over me.
All right, so he's got a big fancy clock up there on the wall behind him in his office, not adjusted for daylight savings. I said, buddy, the writing is literally on the wall here. Chewed on his pen lid the entire time. I'm thinking if he'll put that in his mouth, what else will he put in there?
If he called the receptionist his girl one more time, I was going over the fucking table at him.
Photo of his beer league team for his computer wallpaper. That's no family, man.
I said, I don't got a problem with you till you bullshit. Don't bullshit me. I signed the deal and the Twin Towers come down. Think about that.
His dad used to teach me back in grade 3. One time he grabbed the back of my neck real fucking hard. I never told him.
Every single one of them carries a revolver beneath their driver's seat, and every single one of them knows why.
I'd heard he smashed a snapping turtle shell with the sand wedge on the golf course as a kid, and they should have locked him up right there because that's the right thing to do. You want to get an earful, you ask his little sister about him.
Guess who opposes gay marriage on Twitter?
Everyone thought he's the golden child because he's the only boy in the church choir. He was stealing cookies from Bible club the whole time.
Okay, who's worse, him or his old man? Bit of a race to the bottom there, innit? I seen him kiss his own daughter on the lips past the age of 3.
That would make a fellow wonder, don't it?
He lifted my flip-flops from the lost and found at the public pool, and I can prove it.
Apparently, there's only one car dealer in Letterkenny, and he's not too popular among the Hicks. Cut to Wayne outside with a couple of puppies. He said, turns out the gas cap was loose, and it wouldn't turn over unless it's airtight, so onward. And cue the theme. All right. Matt, what'd you think of this cold open?
Cue the Joker coaster. It was fun, man. So, I mean, as you know, in all my wisdom, I am very knowledgeable when it comes to automotive.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean very little. But so I was learning as this went along, and that was fun. I didn't realize that a crack in the windshield would, disrupt the entire structural integrity of the vehicle. So I learned that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a crack. I better get it. I don't want my car to implode. So dealing with that.
Better get that fixed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, better get that one figured out. I didn't know cars had a planetary gear automatic. So
some do.
Space travel, I guess, is okay for some vehicles.
Yep, that's what that means. Yep, exactly.
I heard planetary. It has to be space. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had no, I didn't. Anyways, it was fun. It went up and down, and I loved how the progression of this. It was like so simple, and then just got, like you said, super personal. There was some references in here that made me again question the location of Letterkenny when they talked about the 401 the 400. So 401, for those who don't know, is the main highway that basically cuts, what is it?
East to west or west to
west. East to west through Ontario, specifically through Toronto, and then it goes up towards Ottawa, and then it goes down towards Windsor, Detroit area. But the 400 goes north up towards Sudbury, but doesn't get anywhere near Sudbury, where they shoot all this. And of course, neither of these also are anywhere really near Listowel, where this all takes place. So when they're making the reference of the 400 to Barrie, that to me tells me they're going from Toronto to Barrie. And I'm like,
that's my commute. I take that.
That is your commute.
So that is your commute. I identified with that joke very, very closely.
Yeah. It's a hot fucking mess.
I am confused.
Yeah. These are our highways or our freeways.
I'm looking at Google Maps right now. I am still confused.
Yeah. So if you look at Toronto, if you zoom in on Toronto, you'll see this big road along the north end of Toronto. It's called the 401.
Yep, I'm looking at those.
About dead center Toronto going north, you'll see this other one that says 400.
Seeing
so
that.
That's the two highways they're talking.
That's the highway that leads up to my place. So the 401 is one of the widest highways on the planet. I think it's 16 lanes wide, and it's a parking lot all the fucking time. So the 401 400 intersection is one of the busiest in North America. in terms of traffic volume. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I live right off of that intersection.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you do.
I ain't going mass out anytime.
Fuck,
and,
man.
and that is
it's a
probably the
disaster.
most accident prone area as well.
Well, there's plenty of construction there all the time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, all that to say,
Anyway.
it was a fun open. It wasn't one of my favorites, no, but I enjoyed it. I love seeing Dickens in a cold open. We don't normally see Dickskin there. I thought they used him well, just hanging out at the bar, shooting the shit. Yeah. No, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
All right. I think season 9 is the season of great cold opens. I mean, they've all been solid, and I loved this cold open. And I will get to you, Chad, because I got a hint of how you felt to this one. But there's not one thing said in that cold open that I haven't heard from some old guy myself. Growing up where I grew up, every one of those mansplaining tidbits I've heard coming from somebody, from my dad, from an uncle, from a grandfather, from anybody. It was all there. So it's one of those funny because it's true. It went on a little long.
Even planetary.
Yeah, all of that I've heard from because, well, that's just making fun of somebody who's trying to sound smarter than they actually are. But all the windshield, the structural integrity of the car, even the dealing with the dealers and stuff like that. Your car loses 50% of its value as soon as you drive it off. Every single one of those I've heard, and so I was laughing my ass. Well, not like inside. I was laughing at that cold open. It went long. And it took some turns, it started off with them mansplaining, and then it went on to them talking about dealers, and then it went on to them trash talking this specific dealer and his reputation, I guess, or whatever. But really, I really enjoyed it. Victor, what did you think?
I found it very taxing. I found it very taxing and tedious.
Yeah.
And though it was all relatable and familiar, I didn't think it was. I mean. And I'm not even sure if it was meant to be funny. I didn't find it funny. I don't think there was a single point during the entire cold open where I even giggled a little bit to myself. And then it got to the point where just going on and on and on, and then it got a little darker. And I'm still concerned about that poor turtle. But that's kind of what I took away.
That's all you heard was a turtle.
That's all I heard. I heard that poor turtle and that shell, and everything else went dark for me. But I don't know. Like I felt it was clever and relatable and familiar, but not funny and a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, see, I disagree. When they first looked at it, when she says her truck wouldn't turn over, and then they looked at each other, and they were like, "Okay, here we go."
Yeah, good start.
And then when the topic of the computer comes up, and they all start grumbling, my own mechanic, whenever I used to take my car to the mechanic, and it's like, "Oh, if it's a computer problem, we're fucked. It's going to cost you a ton," and blah blah blah. Oh, it was just so relatable.
Yeah, but it's not funny. Though.
It was to me because I don't know. It tickled my funny bone. Tanya,
you're not a car guy, are you? There, Victor.
Well, neither am I necessarily.
Get the fuck out of here if you think yourself a car guy.
So no, I had a Citation 2, which was a carburetor car. It's a car where you could open up an engine, open up the hood, and you can actually understand all the parts. It made sense. My mechanic loved that car. He loved it. Okay, get out of here. I'm working on this one.
Because he could fix it with regular plumbing supplies. That's why.
No, it's great. Listen, I'm totally there. It was all very relatable. I just didn't find it. Like, I did have a long day. I was pretty tired.
Sure.
And I felt that because of the fast talk, I felt that it was tedious trying to keep up and making sure that I was following what they were saying, because I got lost a couple of times. When I heard the planetary thing, I'm thinking, what are they talking about? And then it shifted away from the car talk to this dealer, and I thought maybe I was questioning myself if I'm following them or not. Right? But anyway, it was just a little too long, a little too much of a scenic route for that one.
Oh, well done there. Okay, Tanya, what did you think?
So as mentioned, watched this twice. The first round was with subtitles on, and the first round through, I thought that they were. I was trying to track it. I was trying to read and carry along, and I was trying to watch their gestures at the same time. And I'm like, are they each talking about a person? And then as they start the lineup again, like they're all talking about individual person, or are they talking about the same person? I couldn't figure out what was happening, and
Same.
I couldn't track whether or not it was all different people, and I was trying to track it that way. Second time I watched it, subtitles off, I got that it's the same person, but kind of like Victor, I was like, this is too long, and I lost interest. I was like, I get it. I get all the things that Al was saying, the whole computer thing, the whole WD-40 thing. Like, yeah, they're sitting there, they're mansplaining things. Gail's kind of tagging in every once in a while there. But yeah, it was long. I feel like this one was probably the longest cold open ever.
It felt long. It was pretty long. And this is a really short episode again.
It is.
So yeah, it took up a big chunk of this episode for sure. All right, Chad, what did you think of this cold open? And before you begin, you were a mechanic. For the National Guard. So
yeah, I used to be a mechanic in the Army.
So you should relate to this cold open.
I mean, okay. Initial thoughts. I think it's okay. It's maybe one of the worst ones they've done, if you ask me, because it's like, okay, it's just them just like, I mean, don't get me wrong. When they're talking like fast like that, like sometimes it's funny. Sometimes like this one, it was not that good. Like, it's like, okay, I don't like, yes, I was a mechanic at one point. And like, I like understand what they were talking about and about some stuff. Like I had a friend of mine in college who had a car who had a cracked windshield from one corner of the windshield all the way to the other. And like, he was like, I'm waiting for it to fall off. And I was like, very cool. Me too. But it's just like, yeah, no, like, it's like, okay, yeah, if he hit something, that windshield was fucked. But like, I was like, yeah, no, this is okay. They're just rambling. At first it was kind of funny, and there's like some funny parts in there. But then again, it's not great. It's just like, oh yeah, I know the guy took my flip-flops from public school. Like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've watched it 4 times. I watched this episode Tuesday, yesterday, and twice today, and I like in a row. And I was like, I've seen this cold open also on YouTube multiple times, and I'm like, this is like the worst one they've done. Like, get out of here.
I'm so there with you.
I love it, and I know you guys hate the Ants on Seduce, but I love that one, and that's a good cold open.
Well, there you go. So
I didn't hate Ants on Seduce.
Yeah, I don't believe I hated it either.
Tanya hates it.
Yeah, no, I did.
She just didn't get it.
That cold opening is more tedious than Ants on Seduce. Ants on Seduce was pretty tedious.
It was, yeah.
But I love Ants on Seduce.
All right.
I mean, they could, but they could.
Okay. So we're going to move on then. Scene 1.
Yep.
Okay. So production note here. There's a lot of whispering in this episode, so I didn't cut any of these clips. So you're going to be hearing a lot of me right now until the whispering stops. Scene 1. There's a scene with a lot of quick cuts. It's a cold winter night in Letterkenny. Derry, Katie, and Wayne are in the farmhouse kitchen playing Monopoly. Katie loves this time of winter so much. Cut to the Skids' lair. They're playing video games, and Stuart concurs. He loves this time of year as well. Cut to someone else's house, probably Gail or Rosie's. They're playing Scrabble with Bonnie McMurray. Gail says no one leaves the house. Bonnie says they close the bar early, so they also like this time of year. Cut to Riley and Jonesy on one of their beds, watching hockey night in Canada, doubleheader. Riley is shirtless for some reason. They're both high-fiving hibernation. Back to the farmhouse. Katie just loves this part of winter so much. Wayne just loves Monopoly so much. He's currently the second runner-up to Katie. Cut to the Skids. They're talking about how Sonic the Hedgehog holds up to today's video games on account of its speed. Way better than the original Mario Brothers on NES. So fucking slow. We hear Connor and Darian say more words in the background. Coffee, tea, Sega. Cut to the Scrabble game. All three players.
What it was.
Yeah, all three players.
I heard Sega, but I couldn't.
I was so weirded out. Yeah, I was so weirded out. I was like, wait, did Connor and Darian speak?
Yes.
Yeah. I actually, the first time I watched it on the iPad. The kids were watching the TV, and I actually held the speaker to my ear because I didn't pick up coffee and tea.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I didn't either. I didn't either.
So that's why I'm here, guys. Cut to the Scrabble game. All three players need to dump their letters. They have nothing but vowels. Rosie's a bit concerned that they're playing with the French bag of letters. Bonnie says the French are so horny for vowels. Gail is so horny for the French. Big surprise. Back to Riley and Jonesy watching the hockey game in bed together. They're getting sad as the second game of the doubleheader nears the final buzzer because then they're not watching hockey with Canada anymore. And then back to the farmhouse. Derry tries to make a deal with Katie.
Katie, would you like to buy Baltic Avenue from me?
Derry, if I told you once, I told you Baker's dozen times, it's not your turn.
Yeah, Darius, stop doing that.
It's just like it kind of ruins game for everybody else, and you're trying to make backdoor deals when it's my role.
Or my role.
Or when it's Katie's role. Just say it's just like kind of ruins game for everybody else.
And stop trying to sell me these purple properties. They're like the shittiest properties on the board.
Ooh, fucking Modine's one of the boards.
Well, what do you want?
It's not your turn, jackass!
All 4 railroads.
Good buddy. Good buddy. Good buddy. Derry, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Don't do it, Derry.
For what?
Cash.
Derry, don't do it.
How much?
200, Super Chief.
You out of your fucking mind?
Who the fuck sells property and Monopoly for cash?
We are very serious Monopoly players in this house.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
All right. Well, cut to the skids. Stuart needs to beat Dr. Eggman, but he's got no rings. Cut to the Scrabble game. All three girls need consonants. Cut to Riley and Jonesy. Jonesy needs a classic Calgary comeback. It's been all Edmonton so far. And then back to the farmhouse. Derry still needs cash.
Cash is king.
Well, she ain't the fucking Wolf of Wall Street.
It's all about the Benjamins.
Take the cash, make the dash, Derry.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Derry, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Don't.
Done.
Deal.
Damn it.
Cut to the skids.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Don't.
Stuart defeats Dr. Eggman with no rings. Back to Scrabble. All three girls are dumping tiles. Back to Riley and Jonesy. The game ends. Edmonton win the Battle of Alberta. Katie gives Derry $200 for the last railroad. The proceeds to land on the railroad.
Terrible investment,
right?
Then she proceeds to
only 200.
Yeah, I know, right? Then she proceeds to land on the railway safely, and predictably on Derry's next turn, he lands on the railroad and has to pay Katie the $200 she just gave him. So Derry concedes. All four different scenes are wrapping up their evening's activities. They try to figure out what to do next. We find out from Wayne that Squirrely Dan is out with Ellen tonight. Katie surmises that he's probably got a finger up his ass then. Wayne has a brainstorm. They should watch all three Jackass movies in a row. The skids are all going to watch all three Lord of the Rings movies in a row. The Scrabble bunch decide they're going to watch the movie Fubar. Production of Fubar is a 2002 cult Canadian comedy / mockumentary about a couple of headbangers in Calgary who go around drinking beer and getting into trouble. The movie spawned 2 sequels. I haven't watched the movie. I tried watching a few minutes of it today. It's awful, or it looks awful anyway.
It's not watchable.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Yeah, don't
look
bother.
for it.
Yeah, don't bother.
Also, can I put a? I've watched all 3 Lord of the Rings movies in a day.
Yeah,
in a day.
I did 2 in the theater.
Chad, no one was challenging that.
No one was challenging. But it's
How many
more of a
hours
day
is
thing.
that?
And it's like okay, depends. Do you go like theatrical or like extended? Because if you go extended, then it's like 12 hours.
No.
Oh my god.
And I've done that.
Well, I
done
did
the 12
8 hours of Beatles, so I mean that's just 4 hours shy. I've done the same thing in the theater where they played all 3 movies in the theater back to back to back with.
That's.
But did you guys watch all of Shia LaBeouf's movies back to back to back to back?
No.
Yeah, I want to go watch a trash can.
Anyway,
anyway, it's more of a day thing than like a night thing because you probably getting halfway through the Fellowship of the Ring.
I was very young then. I don't think I can get through one movie without falling asleep now. Back to
True.
Oh yeah, and Riley and Jonesy, they're gonna watch Rock'em Sock'em Hockey 5 and then 6, of course. Back to the farmhouse.
Because like you got to watch them once a year, right? So like it might as well be night.
I wouldn't say no to that.
There's nothing, like not even one thing that makes me laugh like Jackass.
So true.
I'm a bit tired. I might fall asleep.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
Let's hit the hair. Press play, bro.
Press play, buddy.
How would you fall asleep during Jackass?
Yeah, you're right. I won't. Let's do it. I'll get the DVDs. Blu-rays. Rolled.
I've got pot gummies.
Should we check to see if any Tinderellas hit us up? We'll let our night off, bro. Maybe we should bring the Gus and Brew with us. Maybe we should get a little bit more hammered.
I'd get a little more hammered.
Well, I'm kind of surprised we're not getting a little bit more hammered right now.
We should have let them do the coffee ad read. Cue a musical montage of outdoor shots of Letterkenny during a dark winter night, and then each faction watching their shows, saying that there's no way they'll fall asleep, and then they all fall asleep, and we fade to black for a very long time. At least 10 seconds. This is probably when Victor thought, oh, maybe I nodded off and probably rewound a few times. Yeah, I thought so.
Well, we were watching it, and I told Jen, I'm like, it's actually a shorter episode. And we got to that part. She's like, you're not wrong. That was a really short episode. I'm like, hold on, wait for it.
Can you imagine if you'd stopped watching right there and
turned it off?
Yeah, and there's like a whole other half next. Anyway, next scene is next scene is scene 2. We come back to the farmhouse. Derry, Katie, and Wayne are asleep in the same bed. Only Derry wakes up and whispers over to Wayne, asking if he's sleeping. Wayne says he isn't. Derry asks Wayne if he likes anyone. Wayne thinks his sweetie's pretty cool. Wayne asks him why. Derry says it's because there's somebody he likes. Katie asks him who, which surprises Derry that she's awake. Derry's suddenly too shy to talk about it, so both Wayne and Katie take the opportunity to berate Derry on how bad his breath smells. Make no mention of the fact that he's wearing his barn clothes in bed. They ask if...
That's his sleeper.
Fucking DJ.
That's his onesie.
I love how like Wayne's also just like chilling in his like normal clothes. Just,
yeah. Well,
sleep here.
Derry's a dairy farmer. He works with cows, and he never takes that fucking thing off. That's just disgusting.
And they on several occasions they've noted that it doesn't smell that well.
Yeah.
And Katie's all cuddling up on
I know.
Katie's still like,
see, she's nose blind. Nose blindness is a thing. All right. They ask what was it? They ask if they know who the girl Derry likes. Derry says yes, they both know her. They ask him once again who it is. Then there's a farting noise that makes the transition to the next scene. Scene 3. It's the Skids. They're all sleeping except for Rold. He asks Stuart if he's awake. Stuart says he is concretely. Rold asks Stuart if he was the one who farted. Stuart denies it, but Rold insists that it smells like it was Stuart. And after deep inhalation, Stuart agrees that it does smell like it was him, and he surmises he must have woken himself up with a fart. Rold says that he does that sometimes too. Rold asks Stuart who he likes. Stuart acts coy, but admits to liking someone. Rold asks him who it is, and then we get another fart transition to scene 4. This time it's a Scrabble girls. Bonnie wakes up disgusted, asks Gail if she just farted. Gail, of course, takes credit. Says she was trying to wake them up so they could talk about boys. Bonnie says Gail's fart was really bad. Gail says that there's a handful stacked on each other because it didn't work the first few tries. Bonnie asks Gail how many times she tried. Gail says, 5 or 6 times, but Rosie corrects her. It was actually 7. 7 farts. Gail asks if she woke her up with the very first one, and Rosie confirms. Bonnie asks her why she just listened to 6 more farts without saying anything. Rosie says it's because they got progressively more captivating, and that's got to be the line of the night.
Oh, that's what she said. I didn't pick that one up either.
They got progressively more captivating.
That scene is probably the best scene in the entire episode.
It's
like,
great.
Like, wait, why'd you keep listening? It was so bad.
Yeah, it's a great scene. I'll have to come back to that one as well. Just then Bonnie's phone buzzes and she checks it and lets out an exasperated, "Oh my God." Cut to Riley and Jonesy, who are laying in bed pole to pole, checking their phones. Riley says he just hit up Bonnie McMurray. Jonesy just did the same thing. They both admitted they're taking a run at her. They've each been taking runs at her consistently because, well, consistency is better than persistency. Broads like getting run at, but you can't be annoying. Both of them arrive at the same strategy independently. They take a run at her, wait a bit, and then try again. Jonesy asks when was the last time he took a run at Bonnie. Cut back to the girls, and Bonnie's saying to Gail and Rosie that both Riley and Jonesy took a run at her a few months ago. She could set her watch to the frequency in which they take runs at her.
Would you ever let him in there?
Riley or Jonesy?
What's the difference?
You gotta put some work on that boy, Bono.
Riley or Jonesy?
What's the difference? I ought to put a little work on him.
What if I invited them here?
You can both put a little work on him.
Rosie leaves the two to go crawl in with Wayne. Cut to the skids. Rold continues to grill Stuart on who he likes. Stuart says it doesn't matter because she's out of his league. Rold reminds Stuart that his lovemaking session with Alley Cat and Bianca at the same time. No one's out of Stuart's league. Stuart finally admits that his crush is Bonnie McMurray, and this sets off a lot of hissing from the other skids. Next scene, back to the farmhouse. Katie is now wide awake. Did Derry just say that he likes Bonnie McMurray? Derry confirms. Katie begs Derry to let her be his wingman. She grabs Derry's phone and invites Bonnie over despite Derry's weak objections. Wayne says this is booty call territory, and he excuses himself to go crawl in with Rosie. Bonnie responds to the text telling him she's on her way. Next scene, back at Gail's place. Rosie and Bonnie are leaving the farmhouse.
But Riley and Jonesy are on their way here.
So?
So 2 is better than 1.
I just want to snuggle.
I don't.
Guess you're going to have to put a little work on him then, cousin. Yeah.
Okay.
Next scene, cut to the skids.
Go to her, Stuart. It's the middle of the night. That's romance. That's stalking. She was at Gail's an hour ago on her Instagram story. Huh. We are literally asking for stalkers from our social medias these days, aren't we? Stuart? Well, go to her?
And then we get a musical montage of Stuart riding his bicycle to Bonnie's, but Bonnie passing him going in the opposite direction on her way to the farmhouse. They see each other, both of them very confused. Riley and Jonesy arrive at Bonnie's house. They knock and Gail answers. They look at each other, shrug, then honk their imaginary horns and join Gail inside. Cut to the farmhouse. Katie shows Bonnie to the bedroom where Derry is lying there asleep. Poor Derry. Cut to the front room at the farmhouse. Wayne's lacing up his boots to go join Rosie, but Rosie arrives instead and takes off her coat, revealing a lacy top. Wayne smiles, and we fade to black. And that is the episode. Matt, you are first. What did you think?
Well, let me just lead with, my Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea.
Oh, dear.
Well, my Bonnie lies over the ocean. Yeah, bring back my Bonnie to me.
Oh, boy.
Bring back.
We do not need to.
Bring back my Bonnie to me.
To me.
Hard no.
Okay.
Oh, man. I actually really like this one.
Mm-hmm.
It was... there was a lot going on, and yet such a simple concept. It was very and the weird thing about this whole episode, what I liked about it was very welcoming. I felt, I don't know if that makes sense. I felt like
everyone just jumps into bed with everyone.
Yeah,
No one
was
cares.
so simple, and it was like it felt kind of almost genuine in its weirdness, and I loved each of the individual kind of elements that were going on. The Monopoly scene was, I think, between that and the fart scene were right up there with my two favorites. Like I actually, they did it anyways. And I completely disagree with Wayne when he's like, backdoor deals ruin it for everyone. Cause if you're not playing backdoor deals, you're not doing Monopoly right. Cause that's one of my favorite things about Monopoly is that you kind of throw the rules out the window. That's Dallas. And you gotta go with it. It's like there's things going left and right. You're dealing off chance cards. Anything goes. Kind of. It's business, right? Anything's on the table, and I totally respect it. Even though Derry is clearly the worst Monopoly player in the world, the fact that he was ahead of Wayne, ahead of that move, it just doesn't say much for Wayne.
I don't think he was ahead. He was. Did Wayne say he was second?
No, he said he was second. Yeah,
Wayne was second to Katie.
Second
runner up.
Second runner up. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and then he became first runner. Oh, yeah, that is bad. Wow.
Yeah. So it doesn't say much for Wayne's character
not
in
at
that
all.
one. But
and if you look at the board, there's only like one side. The yellow side of the board had a bunch of hotels on it, but there was nothing else.
Though he's playing against his sister. He's going to let his sister win.
Yeah, they kept on low bonesing like throughout the game too. So.
Yeah, no, he was letting that happen.
I don't know about that. But anyways, it was that was a fantastic scene. The jackass stuff made me laugh, and I loved Dwayne for that. He quickly redeemed himself with that one because I am, like many, a mass. In fact, I used to throw really were really huge parties back in high school. Like I'm talking like 100 plus people in my house. And on multiple occasions, I'd have a live band in my basement, a Jackass marathon always playing in my living room. Like I had all the series on DVDs.
Oh my
they're all
gosh.
burned DVDs, and I would just put them on and they would just run all night. So, and then
the burn DVD. Of
Right,
course,
it was-
the burn DVDs, they're cheaper. Fuck.
it was amazing. Well, and they were burned, so I didn't pay for them either. So,
cheaper.
It's all good, man. But so I definitely was the generation of loving Jackass, and it was before the movies were even made. And if you go back to the CKY Kids and all that shit, like these guys were gold. So that was a lot of fun. Fubar I as well have not seen though. And what I noticed was Fubar was the only thing I've seen to date that they actually and maybe correct me if I'm wrong. They actually showed a very, very, very minor clip of it, and they never do that. So I wondered, I mean, I didn't find anything, and maybe there's a bigger story. I wondered if there was a connection to someone in.
I looked for it. I couldn't find it. So unless it's maybe a writer or something, because I tried, like I said, I watched like 20 minutes of it today, and I'm like, I can't sit through this. It wasn't good. So I'm like, there's got to be a connection somewhere. Like that other episode where they mentioned movies and they were all like written and or directed by Jacob Tierney, but I couldn't find. It may be there, but maybe I couldn't find it.
Yeah, awesome. We'll leave that to you.
Yeah, I'm sure Awesome
you already know the answer.
Fuck, she'll probably tell us the answer in the post shows.
Yeah, there you go. if she's well enough, because she was feeling under the weather.
Oh,
the other, I mean, from a technical standpoint, I'll call it a couple things that I made note of. So the outdoor shot montage really I enjoyed it, but it was very different from anything they've done. They don't do that. They were really showing sides of Sudbury, which we never see. They're always very static. We were very static in their locations. I don't know why or what.
I have a theory, but go on.
Okay. Well, but anyways, I enjoyed it. I thought that was kind of a cool thing they did there. And also the bar scene I really liked with the boys going through the rant at the beginning. The rolling focus effect I always enjoy. So you kind of see this side angle shot, and as they're cutting between them, the quick focus changes from each actor. I've always been a fan of that style of shooting, the quick changes. So that's my technical enjoyment there.
Can I say something about that? Like, I just noticed that, like, just like this on my second viewing today. Like, I didn't really I was probably not paying attention, and like just on my second viewing, I was like, they're like slowly because I noticed at the first Dickens started speaking, and then Wayne came out of focus, and I was like, I guess I've never really noticed that. Like in the scene,
it's not something they've done before that I can remember. Right? This one had very much had a very different feel this whole episode, which
and that's a very simple technical trick to do to draw attention to whatever's going on. But I appreciated it. I thought they did it really well. And actually, when I was in school for this kind of stuff years ago, and even to that point, when you do that, you would often almost have like a little piece of tape or something on the camera to quickly know exactly where you need to be. So you'd preset your focuses on the different actors and you'd shoot between them as they went, and you so that way you're spot on. But anyways, I really enjoyed that little minor element. Again, lots of good stuff. The other kind of thing I wanted to quickly bring up was the skids. Their scene was odd as a whole, but can someone explain to me why, when he revealed Bonnie McMurray, they all what did Bonnie McMurray do to?
Oh, she's a hick. She's not a skid. That's probably or maybe she's a McMurray. I don't know. Yeah. Their reaction is, I think it's just because she's.
But you don't know either, is what you're saying.
No, but those are my assumptions, right?
I thought it was.
You're
because
very confident in your lack of knowledge.
I'll agree with Al. I think it's because she's technically a hick. I would say she's a hick.
I thought all the hissing was because they were getting woke up.
Well, there's that too. But when he says Bonnie McMurray, they all start hissing. So
and then they hiss again when he turns the light on.
It's either because she's a hick or because she's a McMurray. I'm guessing the hicks aren't too kind to the skids, and so the fact that Stuart likes it. Well, I mean, look at how they reacted when he dated Katie, right? So
true.
They hated when he dated Katie, and now he might. Well, he's saying he likes another one of them. So
fair enough.
I never even thought of Bonnie as a hick. So there you go.
I mean, she's almost like one of the townspeople, like like Dickens, like Gaylor.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, especially since like season 7, like, I think season 7, season 8, she became more like of her own character. Like,
Yeah.
she became more.
Well, McMurray's
prominent.
definitely a hick.
Yeah.
And she's
McMurray's
his sister. And she has a lot of kind of stuff like, if you're not 10 minutes early or 10 minutes late kind of thing. Like, she's got kind of like these old fashioned views like the Hicks do. So
fair enough. So anyways, all that to say, I mean, those are my initial thoughts. There's lots more I could talk about, but I'll leave it to the panel to expand and go from there.
All right. I loved the cold open. The scene with the girls in bed and with Gail farting and the 7 farts and Rosie and that line that she gave where they got progressively more captivating. Favorite line of the episode. Funny, great scene. And second only to the Monopoly scene. Before we had kids, we used to have some heated Monopoly games. Tanya and I and a friend of ours, Bill. And it got to the point where there'd be marathon games, and then, we'd have to,
they were serious.
We'd have to go to bed or go eat or something. So we'd actually literally take pictures of the board to make sure no one fucked with the board. Like, it got that serious.
So you guys are playing right. I like
yes.
This.
And there was, so of course there's lots of wheeling and dealing. I love Wayne trying to get Derry's attention, trying to tell him how bad an idea it was for him to sell off the railroad monopoly for $200. Come on.
Each railroad alone costs $200.
Exactly.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
But the real question is, are they playing the Letterkenny Monopoly or are they playing
it's regular
Monopoly?
It's a regular
It
Monopoly.
would have been at least $800. That's just to recoup what you've spent.
Yeah, I don't like selling any property for cash.
That's just straight up inexperience there, Derek.
Selling property for cash is so short-sighted. Anyway, you gotta go property for property. This whole episode had a very different feel to it, very different direction to it. I don't know if it was Tierney directing or whatever, but yeah, Matt, you called it out. Those shots of Letterkenny at night set to music, they've never done that before on Letterkenny. We've never seen Keswick or not Keswick, Sudbury like that. You mentioned the change in focus. There's also the whispering. Those scenes with the whispers, just a very different tonally for Letterkenny. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really kind of cool difference, a cool kind of different take. What's that, Chad?
I wonder if it's like the concept episode of this season. You know how they do like those like concept like Bart Book and like
you know what I could argue though
that episode
other than episode 1, every episode's been standalone and kind of a concept episode. Like the kids with problems was a concept episode, and you're right. This one is kind of a concept one as well. Although this one did have more story to it, right?
Yeah. I don't remember what happens next week because I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
Probably later, probably tomorrow, because I don't know what happened because I've only seen the season 1 time and I've seen this episode 5 times. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really enjoyed this. So my theory on the whole montage of Sudbury and all the other montage too, is this is a really short episode. And I think it would have been even shorter without those montages. I think they were really light on script for this episode and they need to fill it in with something. And that's what they did. I also really enjoyed the cutting in the first scene of this, where they're going back and forth between the different locations and they're telling the story, but the different characters are continuing the story in their own setting, in their own way. I thought that was really, really well done, expertly cut. And so, yeah, this is like really strong. I thought, even if it was short, it was like short but sweet. It came in good things come in small.
Short.
Yeah, very short. Yeah. And if you take out that montage and that really long cold open, this would be like a 10-minute episode. So, yeah. Anyway, Victor, what do you think?
To me, it felt like the episode would never end.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You need to watch this again on a good night's sleep.
It went on and on.
Oh, no.
You know. Okay. So first the artistic elements. Mm-hmm. I agree. Actually, I thought that I liked it. I liked that even during the cold open, even though that dragged on forever, there was some good camera work and interesting shots. I liked the montage. That was certainly good. And even like the end, I love the music at the end. Mm-hmm. So all the artistic elements were great. Probably the best shot of the episode was the intermission. But
wow, shots fired.
Come on.
Holy crap.
But
right.
you know, the thing is, again,
come correct.
The DM group will have a field day with you on that.
Yeah, you know what? And that's okay. Bring it on. The thing is, I played Monopoly. I get it. It was relatable. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here. Move on.
What?
Then,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Victor, you need to watch this episode again. Because I don't think we watched the same
Have a nice long night's sleep, Victor, and watch this again.
And then, so I feel like before the first intermission, nothing really happened. Nothing really happened. Nothing interesting happened at all.
No.
The whispering, like, who cares? And then afterwards, things got a little more interesting, but still not that. I felt like the most interesting moment came 2 minutes before the end. So exactly 2 minutes before the end. But I don't understand. You guys all hated Fart Book. This was the Fart Book episode, except without an interesting storyline.
No. You couldn't be so
Are we
wrong.
still recasting?
Yeah, like to me, like I don't know, like the whole farting thing. I just didn't find it funny. It's like okay, y'all, we're about to hear it. No, we're gonna fart.
I loved how it transitioned from scene to scene, though.
I know,
it was awesome.
Fart transition. Oh, it was great.
And then they just capitalized on Gaylor there.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. No.
Come on,
and that line was that line was great. But I mean, but the scene itself, it's like, okay, you guys are farting. I get it. Women fart too. That's cool. But
there weren't even that many farts this episode. Come on, get off of it. Farts should not be an issue in this episode.
It was a focal point. It was a focal point.
No.
But it was interesting at the end where it's like, oh, okay, well, Bonnie, she's the one who's going to get Bonnie. They all want Bonnie except for Wayne. Everybody else wants Bonnie. Even and then at the end, I guess Katie and Bonnie got together. I guess is that what's supposed to happen? Anyway. So
are we sure we still watched the same episode, Victor?
What part did you find the most interesting? You said 2 minutes before the end. Is that when Bonnie went in and found Derry sleeping? Is that what you found?
Well, yeah, when everybody leaves to get Bonnie, right?
Right.
That's kind of that was for me the climax, I guess, of the episode.
Okay, all right. Sure, I don't agree, but whatever.
It is what it is.
10.
So far, you guys are making a lot of points. What is right?
You should be a politician.
Right?
That's great. You said something without saying something.
There you go.
Democratic response.
What is with the blackout? Like what happened there? Why did the blackout? You thought you had the show paused.
No, I know.
And it wasn't. It was on blackout.
So we were watching
and then,
this afternoon for the second time, and I waited until the blackout to pause it so that I can go grab some snacks because I was getting the munchies, and so I thought I paused it because it was black and it was black for a long time. So I walked away, but then it started up again. Oh shit! And she's like, "Yeah, that was a really long blackout." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So,
the fact that you could walk away from the remote.
Yeah.
And then come back because
again, they didn't have enough script. They did a lot of time stalling tactics to get this episode to 19 minutes, which is still short.
What they should have done with that time.
It was so tedious they needed to give you an intermission.
What they should have done with that time is have snippets of the movies that each group was watching.
No, I think there's a reason for that. Look, the whole thing was setting a mood. They were setting a mood with the whispering. They were setting a mood with the howling wind outside.
Oh,
they were setting
it represents everybody sleeping.
Everyone falling asleep. They were setting a mood and a pace to the episode. So I mean, I'm joking when I say it was a short episode, but I do think it effectively set a sleepy winter night mood. I loved it. Like those are some of my favorite nights too, where if you don't leave the house, you usually feel guilty that you don't go anywhere. But on a night like that, you don't feel guilty at all. You just you take advantage. You take advantage of it. You hibernate. You put on warm fuzzies.
Last
put
Sunday.
a movie on, or you play a board game. Those are the nights you look forward to in the winter.
They're calming. They're fun. They're
absolutely.
memorable.
They set
first off
perfect mood in this.
All right, can
First
we
off-
continue?
Yeah, well,
First off, I never feel guilty not leaving the house. So. I feel more guilty
Attaboy.
leaving the fucking house. I'm like, why the fuck am I leaving? Like, I got food here. I got TV here. Why the fuck am I going?
Well, if it's nice out though, you might feel guilty not going outside at least. No, okay. Well, you're a young one, so yeah, we'll.
I'm a homebody.
Tanya.
Yeah. So the blackout didn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. I can kind of see it. Maybe everybody fell asleep and the whole cut to their surroundings and watching cars going around and the snowbanks and stuff. Sure. Okay. I get that. The funniest, I think my funny part was Derry whispering and having the bad breath and there was a I can't remember the clip exactly, but anyways, him saying are you awake and being surprised that
fun.
they were awake and stuff. So he was he tickled my funny bone. Other than that, I kind of agree with Victor. Like it was like it was a tough one to get through. It was just like, okay, we've got our sleeping quarters and they're taking a run at Bonnie. It was the pacing of it. And I get it that everybody's sleeping and having their coziness and stuff like that. I feel like what they could have done, they tried to tie in, the cuts from one group to another group with the fart. I think it would have been fun had they have cut from one group to the other in tying in the sentences or like a word that ties into the next sentence in the next
Well, they kind of
group.
did that in the beginning, but yeah, they went away from that one.
They're so good at wordplay. Yeah. They're so good at chirping off of each other and stuff. Like I feel like that was a missed opportunity to just kind of pull one more dimension into them being a group and being still in their separate places, but still kind of being their own a group. Yeah. So there you go.
All right, Chad, save us here.
Yeah, bring us home. Bring us home, buddy.
First off, shouldn't Derry know that Wayne is sweet on Rosie?
I know, right?
Yes.
No.
First off, Derry, shouldn't you fucking know?
Well, I mean,
that was just a segue into the conversation.
Wayne does say, "Are you sleepwalking, Derry? Are you sleepwalking?" So, I don't think Wayne thought it made much sense either.
And that's a good point, Chad, because I thought the exact same thing when they were talking when oh my gosh, Gail was getting together with the boys, and I'm like, wait a second, isn't she with Dick Skin? I'm like, what's going on? Like, everybody,
you can't tame
They're not
Gail.
official.
You can't.
I thought
you can't put her in a box.
You
can't do that.
You can't tame that lion.
You can't.
But that was over. It was more than just one episode that those two were together.
Yeah, they're not exclusive yet.
I know, but they carried it over to, it wasn't a one night stand either, because she wanted to ride that a little bit longer. Because she said exactly. Because when he came to the bar and she was like, when you're hungover, you're horny. And she wanted to go again. Right? Anyways, go.
I'll keep going. I also really enjoy how they keep whispering when everybody's fucking awake.
Yeah.
like, all right, you're all fucking awake. Talk normal, please and thank you. Because it's kind of hard to hear when I'm listening on the TV if I don't have the headphones.
So fucking true. It's so fucking true.
The first year, I was like, the first time I watched it, like with the beginning of the fucking year, whenever I watched like season 9, I was like, the fuck are they saying in this episode? I can't hear shit. And now listen to.
That's like the parents are home, right? The parents are home, so you got to be quiet.
There are no parents in Letterkenny.
I know, but that's your traditional sleepover, right?
Yeah, but now listen with the headphones, and definitely improves the listening view. That's how you watch. I'm like, okay, now I can hear what they're saying. Like I didn't know that Connor and Darian talked. I was like, wait, they spoke in this episode. What else? I love how the nutsacks share a bed.
And they were laying there pole to pole.
And shirtless.
One of them is shirtless. Yeah.
I always like to think that that's actually their bed.
The two of them sleep.
Riley and Jonesy actually share a bed.
And the way they're curled up when they're both making a run at Bonnie McMurray, I was dying. They're knees to knees, like phone to phone.
Yeah. I feel like that's how they sleep every fucking night. Like it's just like that's how they do it. Like every fucking night, they're besties. And I love how the comment of like when Bonnie's like Riley or Jonesy, and they're like, doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
They are one and the same.
Because honestly, they're the same fucking person. What else do I have here? I've always shipped Bonnie and Derry together, like especially since like what was that, season 4, season 3, whenever the hot tub episode with Bonnie.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, first of all, Dan just seems older than all of them. So like, I was like, Dan, you're like, you could be old enough to be her fucking dad. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, but he's got Ellen too. He's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, in that moment, I was just like, 1 second, cat's being crazy.
Oh, knocking over your Funkos.
Knocking down shit, cats. Anyway, I was like, Dan, you're fucking old, like 10 years older than Bonnie. Get the fuck out of here. Like, it's like, that's pedophilia, Dan. Get the fuck out of here. But I always think there'd be a cute pair. And like, I mean, I made the point yesterday in the DM group, like we were talking about like some things, and I was like, she's only been sweet on Derry when Wayne's not available. Yeah, when Wayne's like single. 1 second.
Cats are running rampant.
Cats.
What are you hearing?
My headphones disconnected.
Oh, you can't hear us anymore? That's not good. Well,
as he responds.
Wait a second. That feels weird.
Yeah.
That was fucking weird.
Are you back?
My headphones just
okay.
My headphones decided not to work right there.
Fucking cats.
Your cat wanted you to pay attention, so he
she's like, pay attention to me, motherfucker.
She dislocated.
Cable's loose.
Anyway,
make sure she's not chewing on it. Don't want a Chevy Chase moment there.
I mean, it's wireless. I don't know why it disconnected right there and then, but it did. So anyway,
is your cat animanium?
Yeah,
I don't know. She's fucking crazy. That's for sure. Anyway, what
Bonnie
was I saying?
sweet on Derry only when Wayne.
Oh yeah, only when Wayne's like.
See, you didn't think I was listening.
Single, yeah. I hope somebody was paying.
We just assume, Matt, that you're never listening. Yeah,
somebody was paying.
She's sweet on him when Wayne's not available, but as soon as he becomes available, she goes cold on him. So
what was it? Beginning of season 8, like Derry like makes a move on her.
Yeah,
and she's like, well,
no, Wayne's available.
Wayne's
again.
single. Yeah, Wayne's single, and it's like, oh, and now that like Wayne's, unless something fucked up happens, which I doubt it doesn't seem like Wayne and Rosie are like ever like separating. I don't know what happened, and like unless Rosie was cheating on somebody else.
Oh, I hope they don't go there again. That
which I kind of fucking doubt it, because they're both like super perfect together.
Yeah, but that'll be interesting. So, I mean, I like the ship. I like the what would you call that? Donnie, Derry and Bonnie, or Barry.
Yeah, but there's a question though too. Like Katie's friends with both of them, but she knows that Bonnie is only interested in Derry when Wayne's not available. She must know that. Everybody knows that because she's made it kind of clear.
But Katie's the one who just played wingman and invited Bonnie over. So she's very excited at the prospect of Derry and Bonnie hooking up.
I hope they gave him some Listerine or something before trying to hook
They'd have to hose him down first.
Yep. That.
I'd see.
Give him the Bard treatment. Get the hose out and the head and shoulders. And
I always think like the main hicks, like Squirrely Dan and like Wayne and Derry and Katie, they're like a family. Like even like apparently people ship Katie and Derry together, and it's like, first of all, she's never been interested in Derry. Like that's
No.
evident from the first episode. If
Mhm.
you've ever seen the cold opening, the first episode, so she tells Derry to go home.
Yeah, but
Right.
it's because of that I thought that eventually they would get together after that 1st season. I thought
They're more
those
like
two are
brother
destined.
sister.
Yeah, but
they're
the way they
they're
set that
family.
up, though, I mean, it was classic kind of sitcom trope where they start off hating each other and then they end up together near the end. But I mean,
Yeah, but like 9 seasons later, you're like, oh, they're fucking family. If they
Yeah.
get together, that's fucking gross.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah.
out of here. But like Bonnie is just like she's hick
Mhm.
and she's been in enough episodes, but she's not like actually like part of the main characters of
Yeah.
Letterkenny, as I would say.
Yeah.
She's the townsperson, townspeople. Like,
oh, she's perfect. Yeah, I think that's a good ship.
and I think they would be perfect together. I don't care what people think about that. What else?
So you're Team Barry then, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, I'm Team Barry. We're starting that. We're starting that
Barry.
here. We're not
Oh
not
my
doing Fricks
God,
because
Barry.
Fricks are fucking terrible.
Fricks is
You gotta
fucking
get
ridiculous.
get the fuck
Bonary.
outta here.
Whatever. You guys
Fricks
are just
shit.
jealous you didn't come up with it
Anyway,
yourself.
anyway,
All right.
anyway. I'll save that for closing.
We're almost at 11 o'clock here. Are you done there, Chad?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, let's move on
going.
to ratings. Matt, what do you give this
Since we're-
episode?
Since you're already timing us, I better just fly through this. I mean, honestly, I don't think you guys are giving this, and I'm pointing at Tanya and Victor, giving this enough credit. I think Al's spot on with his thoughts around the tone, the mood, the vibe of the episode. I thought they did an amazing job. Was it the funniest episode in the world? No. Was it my favorite? And I'm going to say now, it was not a top 5. I know we're going ahead a bit. Absolutely not.
You're in a hurry.
I know. No, I'm not. I'm making my point. But did I think it was a solid episode? Yeah, I absolutely do. It's a fresh. It's not a high fresh. It was a fun, welcoming. It kind of was like a big warm hug of an episode. Is
It
the way I
was.
looked at.
Yeah, it had
I
that
loved
feel.
it. I loved everything about it. And like again, even from those cutaway shows, I thought they did such a fantastic job of sort of pulling this together. The time was short. It's fine. I felt everything was almost intentional, and I really enjoyed the vibe of the episode. So no, it's a fresh.
It was not almost intentional. It was absolutely intentional. This episode had a slow, sleepy mood on purpose, and maybe it might not, appeal to regular Letterkenny because Letterkenny is usually fast-paced, quick dialogue, and this goes against that. But I thought they succeeded in setting.
They broke all the rules of their own format.
And I think they succeeded in setting the mood. They did some different things in here that I really enjoyed, and I love your description. This episode was a warm hug, and it's my favorite of this season so far. Like, I think
Really?
this is of season 9. Absolutely, I think this is my favorite episode of season 9. It's so good. They did a lot of different things, and I think for the most part they worked. And it doesn't hurt that I really enjoyed that cold open as well. Victor.
Wait, you didn't actually say your.
Oh, it said fresh. Sorry, fresh. I give it a fresh.
I heard fresh in your voice.
Right,
It just didn't come out.
Is an absolute fresh. Best episode of season 9 so far.
Wow, that's ludicrous.
Victor.
That's
Which one in season 9 is better than this?
Episode 2.
What, Kids with Problems? Is that 2? No, I forget.
DGen. Anyway, this for me, this episode is well past its expiry date. I mean, it is a solid, environmentally friendly compost for me.
Oh my God!
Wow, you went really the other range.
Wow.
there.
And I got nothing out of this episode, like nothing. The best part of the episode, in seriousness, is the song at the end. Just wondering, okay, so what's gonna, all the scrambling, who's gonna end up with Bonnie? And at the end, we don't even get anything out of that. There's nothing. There's nothing. All we get is Rosie's bustier or whatever you call that thing.
That's enough for a fresh for me, actually.
That was wunderbar.
Yeah, wunderbar.
Yeah. There you go. No, I mean, really, that was the last scene. Is this couple? The best scene, I guess. But I don't know. I got nothing from this episode. Nothing at all. This is probably one of the And we had some pretty, like for the most. And by the way, you guys can get all crazy on in the community there, but I don't think I've given any compost or since that episode where they went all down on the girls. Well, wait a second.
Whoa. Huh? Oh, the hockey.
Did I miss something?
The hockey one.
The hockey.
Where they beat the girls on the ice.
Oh,
they beat
that
them silly
kind
for
of.
no reason, and there was no come up.
That going down. All right.
That kind of going down.
Yeah, and I think that's the last time. That's that we haven't. I hadn't had like a bad review of any episode since that one. There's been some clearances, but no, like this episode was. It's probably on a list of the 5 most uninteresting. It's like if you want to sell Letterkenny to someone who's never seen it before, please don't include this episode because there's nothing going on.
Victor, I hope you get a lot of sleep this weekend. I think you need it.
I think you need to rewatch this episode and then come back next week.
Anyway,
it was the Letterkenny lullaby, and I loved it.
Yeah. Tanya?
Yeah, but if you're not used to the show, if somebody did watch this for the first time, do you think that would be the takeaway?
I will agree with his comment that if I was to say, have you never watched Letterkenny? I would not direct them to this.
No, not this.
We know the characters. We know their personalities.
We do.
I thought they put each of them in their own perfect setting within the context of what they did here. So we understand it, and I appreciated it. So
it was a pop-up book. It was a pop-up
But
book.
I agree with your statement, Victor, that I would not put a new listener or new watcher onto this episode. Totally agree.
It's like
watchers.
It's not indicative of a typical Kennedy episode for sure. Kennedy? What?
It's like trying to convince people that Letterkenny's a good show, and you're like, skip episode 3.
Skip Fart Book. Yeah.
And one is fucking trash. Get the fuck out of here.
Anyway, Tanya. Tanya. Well, what do you give this?
Matt's words did move me.
His words, not mine.
I have that effect on people.
Apparently.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Matt's words move me, but not enough. I'm not going as
What
low.
other words do you need? Tanya? I can describe it to you.
I can totally see your side. I can totally see what you're saying, and I would have to watch it a third time with those glasses on in order to see it that way. I see it, hell, we even had a day like that already this Sunday. It was a snowy day. We went out with the kids. Al did shoveling. Kids had a snowball fight. We went for a walk in the forest, came back, threw a movie on, and vegged for the rest of the day. And it's a great feeling to have that kind of wintry day that you just kind of snuggle down and have some blankets and some hot chocolate and just relax. Right? It is a perfect. So
You're describing a warm hug to me, and I like it.
Yeah. Like I get it. I get exactly what you're saying. The blackout bothered me. I didn't see it like everybody was having a sleep. Now that I do, and them setting it up, the whole scenery of Sudbury and stuff. When I finished it both times, I went, well, that's just right in the middle. It didn't pull me enough to the fresh. It wasn't a garbage episode, but it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to.
It's enough out of you, Victor.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to pull it into the fresh, which I don't think I've given any episode anything but a fresh this season.
Yeah,
I think I've given everything for. It just kind of. Yeah, I didn't quite get what was happening. Again, if I watched it a third time, maybe I pull it up enough to get to the fresh, but not.
So watch it a third time.
There you go.
All right, Chad.
So you're at what?
She's at a clearance.
Clearance.
Yeah. Thank you. Why can no one say it to me?
We want you to guess.
Hey,
it's a new game.
Proud.
I know you did, Victor. Don't worry about it.
First off, Matt, it's a fresh.
Yes.
It is probably one of this one is we'll probably get to that when we get to the top 5. This one, I love this episode. It's so good. The cutaways of like the long plot, like minus the cold open. What am I trying to think here? I'm trying to think. Minus
what am I trying to think?
I don't know. Like
that pre-gaming is catching up to you now.
Fuck it is. I think I went too hard pre-gaming. Fuck shit.
You're so excited.
I know.
Fuck shit.
I appreciate how articulate you are.
Yeah.
Hey, I've never had a good episode. Get the fuck out of here.
I know you're so excited. You thought
I know.
I know, right?
And chat, I was with you. I was thinking unicorn. This is the possibility for the first unicorn of the season. So I'm with you in my disappointment of Victor.
I am I'm very disappointed in Victor, and you need to rewatch this episode.
I know, right?
Anyway, well, minus the cold opening, like the rest of the episode is like perfect for me. I love it. Like the banter between the three. I mean, I'm minus missing Squirrely Dan. Like I do really strongly miss Squirrely Dan in this episode.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, they set up like, hey, he's not going to be in this episode. But like, you know, I like loved it. It's easily 100% like top notch fresh.
All right.
One of my favorite episodes.
Okay, let's move on to top fives. Matt, does this make your top five?
No, I already said it. It doesn't. It was a solid episode, but it's not a top five.
Yeah, this one's my favorite of this season, but it does not make my top five. This one and Kids with Problems are my two favorites so far of season 9, but yeah, no top five. Victor, I mean,
bottom 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Tanya?
No.
And Chad?
This one is my number one. And it became my number one recent, like as of like
recently.
Better than Dick Flip Out, better than relationships. Come on.
Yeah. No. First off, the relationships is not even in my top 5.
Chad, you're doing so well. Don't ruin it by saying nonsense like that.
Don't say anything you can't take back.
So my first off, my top 5, number 5 is Hard Right J. Number 4 is Fuss at the Golf Course, because
that's good.
You got a problem, you got a problem with me, so just don't marinate. Number 3 is Dick Slip Out.
Number 3 is what?
Dick Slip Out.
Oh.
That is probably one of the best episodes. Number 2 is Les Hicks, because I just love the concept that the Hicks are the same like everywhere they go.
Right.
And number 1 is this episode.
Wow.
And literally it became number 1 today, because like I watched this one time like at the beginning of the year, and like I don't know, like maybe like July or whenever you were trying to like map out the future of like and I claimed this one before Awesome, which probably was the smarter move in the long run.
You wouldn't have done so well in Mitzvah.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Exactly.
Although one of the kids made a comment about the Minions, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know about the Minions now.
Wrong Minions. Let's not have a whole culture of people angry at us.
So in the long run, Awesome. This was probably a better choice between the two of us, by the way.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love this episode. It is probably my favorite episode. And I love Liz Hicks just because like the Hicks are the same people everywhere they go.
Yeah. All right.
I'm done.
Let's do MVPs now. Matt, who's your MVP for this episode? Tanya, by the way, we're doing MVPs. Prepare yourself, okay?
Oh, I know.
All right. Go ahead, Matt.
Wow. I'm giving this one to our lead boy, Wayne.
Oh.
For his performance during the Monopoly scene. His passion was just
Derek.
Oh, Derek. No.
I've had those conversations before.
100%. I completely related to that whole scene. That entire argument, I feel like I've been involved in multiple times, and I love it. So, yeah, it's Wayne.
All right. I'm going to pull a Victor in this MVP, and I'm going to say the Monopoly scene is my MVP. It's the best scene in the whole thing, and I'm with you there, 100%. I would just give it to Wayne, but I think all three of them were really good in it.
They were.
And they made the scene perfect. Like Derry just being clueless and then immediately regretting his decision, like on his next turn. Perfect. So I give it to the whole Monopoly scene. Victor.
Well, my runner-up is Bonnie because she's the reason for this episode, even though you guys think the reason for this episode is a warm hug. But the reality is she is the reason. That's what they're building up towards. That's what all the scenes are building towards. So she definitely gets the runner-up. But you know, the scene that I found the least tedious to watch and to get through was definitely the intermission, the blackout. So for me, that's the MVP.
I just wrote it down before you said it because I knew exactly that's where you're going. You mother. I can't believe
you should have not stopped that game.
I can't believe you went with the blackout, Victor. You're so.
I missed the Victor game. So.
Did you call out the blackout as well, there, Chad?
Yeah, but I would probably guess the blackout or like the scenes of Sudbury.
Tanya, who's your MVP?
Absolutely, hands down, Derry.
Derry?
When he was in bed whispering and he wasn't quite getting or understanding that they didn't know what he was trying to say, and being surprised that Katie was awake, and then it's like,
it's not your place to say.
Yeah, and then him like, oh, what did he say? Oh, darn. when Katie was, what did he say? Now he said,
bother.
Oh, probably. Bother. That's what it was. Yeah. Oh, bother. That she was awake, and that.
That's what Sue says.
That I love that. That was funny.
All right, and Chad.
To be honest, I don't know.
Dude, you had like four people.
Hold on. He's new to the show.
I'm new here.
It was the fart. It was the fart.
I think I'm gonna give this to Rosie because, damn, Rosie is fine.
All right. Well,
that last scene, that's fair.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
Damn, Wayne. Wish I was you, but
a whole lot of Rosie.
A whole lot of Rosie. All right, we're going to
what predictions?
Yeah. Okay. Predictions. Matt, do you have any predictions for the?
No, none. This season's staying consistent where I have no fucking clue what's going on, but I love it. So I'll just keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Can I join because I don't remember what happened?
I don't remember.
Well, but you and I have watched. So no, let's not. Let's disqualify ourselves in here. Victor, is there anything you want to see for the rest of this season?
Yeah, I want to see them smarten up and give us a better episode.
Oh my god!
Oh dear,
okay, Tanya, what about
Next.
you?
I want to know if Derry or if Bonnie ended up snuggling in with Derry.
Oh, that can I steal that one?
Mm-hmm. That. Okay.
I wonder because all she wanted to do was have a snuggle, right? Mm-hmm. So if he's already sleeping, why doesn't she just curl up in?
He's wearing his barn clothes and his breath stinks. Why would she? She's nose blind.
Yeah, but that's him.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Yeah.
And these are country girls.
I'm wondering, and I know that Letterkenny isn't known for following up on their last episodes in that kind of sequential kind of way, but yeah, if she kind of snuggled in and they had a morning wake up together, and that smile on their faces, that would be fun. And then the whole Gail and the boys, like, how's that going to play out, day after next? And
I think they're going to have a couple of injuries the morning after.
A little bit of a rodeo thing going on
pulled
there.
Groins and
some pulled groins, exactly. Yeah.
Leg day.
Some hip flexors.
Yeah. I'm interested to see those two stories.
All right. I'm going to move on to no listener comments, but I just wanted to share some fun stuff. Those of you who've been online the last couple of days have probably, and those of you who use Spotify as your music player have probably seen your Wrapped for the year. That's where Spotify kind of hits you with a bunch of statistics for what you've listened to most all year round and your favorite bands and your favorite music and stuff. Well, they also have a Wrapped for podcasters, and I just wanted to share some of the cool stats that they shared about our podcast. Now, this is just as listeners who listen to our podcast on Spotify, so it doesn't include all of our listeners, but just the ones who listen to us on Spotify. And of those listeners, 63 fans listen to our podcast more than any of the other podcasts. So that was my favorite stat. I love to hear that. there were 9 fans who spent their birthdays listening to the produce stand. So,
huzzah.
Hey, happy birthday.
Oh, Chad's
super soft out there.
Nope, never mind. I lied. My birthday was on a Wednesday.
three fans even rang in the new year listening to us. So that's equally sad and flattering. So thank you there. 10 fans listen on International Podcast Day. Well, if you're going to listen, that would be the day to listen. 31 fans listened to most of our episodes, and 37% of our listeners listen between the hours of 11 and 5. So basically at work, which is interesting.
AM and 5 p.m.
Yeah, 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. And so we've recorded this year 4,152 minutes, 52 episodes. So we didn't skip a week, and in fact, we're not done the year. So we actually doubled up on a few weeks. And in 13 countries. So, I mean, thank you everybody who listened to us.
What would you consider the most obscure country on that list?
Oh, you know what? I didn't see the list. I think Belgium was on there, which was interesting. Yeah, I forget what they were though. But 13 countries on Spotify, not bad. I think overall, over in our overall stats, I think we're up to about 21 different countries. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Also, I think it takes the numbers from last December, because it's always December that it does it.
Oh yeah,
it takes the numbers from last December to this December.
So it's pretty cool. I like the way they do that. I would have shared like my personal listening stats, but they're heavily tainted by my 8-year-old daughter's listening habits. So I'll be embarrassed to share.
I'm gonna brag, and I have apparently 91,000 hours of listening.
Wow,
on Spotify. And I was like, how the fuck did I get that high?
Well, you just
leave it running in the background.
Apparently, but apparently, yous weren't my favorite podcast this year.
Shame on you.
I know, right? But a podcast that I binged through 100 of their episodes at the beginning of the year. Haven't listened to a recent episode. That was my top one. I won't say who they are.
Why not? Give them a shout out. We don't care. We're not.
They're called the Prancey Pony. They're a Lord of the Rings podcast.
Oh,
so
okay. Cool.
I thought you were going to say.
I listened to it.
I thought it was a My Little Pony thing. I was like, Chad, are you a pony guy?
A brony. He's a
brony?
Oh, man.
Brony.
Oh, man.
Have you seen my background? I think I like Star Wars a bit.
That's cool. All right, we're going to move on to final comments here.
Anyway,
Matt.
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. It's I kind of hinted, this has been a shit show of a week, and I always fucking love coming here. So Chad, thanks for joining us, buddy. It's always a pleasure. I know you've been psyched about this. I hope it was a good time. You always bring it. Everyone, always a pleasure. Thank you for bringing me down and bringing me into a happy place for a bit of a time. I don't want to be too depressed in there, but it's been a rougher week. And this is always fun, and I love coming back. So, thanks everyone. Great night.
All right, thank you, Chad, for coming out tonight and picking this episode. I'm with you, man. This is my favorite of season 9. It was a good one to pick, and you picked it early on when you didn't think it was that good an episode. So I hope you're not. I hope you're happy you finally got a good one, even though Victor disappointed you and we didn't get you a unicorn. I think it was still overall a positive episode. 3 of us gave it a fresh and 1 clearance. I think that ranks as positive. So I hope you enjoyed it. Victor,
wasn't Tanya clearance?
Clearance, yes.
Yeah, Tanya was a clearance. Victor needs to rewatch this episode.
Yeah, I like how she's giving Tanya a pass on this one, but that's all right.
I feel like if
you're so far off,
I guess that's your anniversary present.
If we worked, if we worked a little harder on Tanya and maybe had her watch it one more time, we could have maybe gotten her up to fresh.
Al, what the fuck are you doing? Why did you make her watch it 3 times? It's your fucking fault.
Oh, that's really good.
I have to see it thrice.
Victor's a lost cause.
Yes, Victor.
So. Yeah, well,
Victor
you know
needs
what?
to sleep for a week.
Yeah, I know.
He needs to go play on a train.
Hey, bring it on. Hey, Chad, listen, I'm glad that you and Matt think that this is a nice warm hug, because clearly you deserve it. You had a shitty start to a week. I feel bad for you. I wish I could give you a hug. And so, we can disagree on the episode, but you're a good guy, and love having you on here. And I'm glad that this episode gave you the hug that you needed, and hopefully things will work out with your Letterkenny stuff. But thanks for coming on, and we love having you here.
All right, Tan.
Thank you.
Yes, Chad, thank you so much. I will watch it a third time and I will let you know, or I'll let Alan let you know if I pull it up to a fresh. I'm sorry to disappoint you because I know you were so excited about this.
You mean when you pull it up?
Well, I'm going to pull it up, dude. I'll pull it up. It was always a blast. I, exactly what Matt says. It's always, the highlight of my week, just to let loose and get out of the world and into this. And it's always a nice relief and a fun time.
And
so hold on, if I can do quick, I want to quickly add to the fun time thing. So even today, like again, I won't get into detail. And in all seriousness, there's nothing really wrong. It just was a tougher week than a lot. Mm-hmm. Even before tonight, Jen commented saying, "Why?" She's like, "I actually thought you might bail tonight on the show." And I said, "No." She said, "Well, I know you're tired. I know." I'm like, "Yeah." But I'm like, you know what? It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And I don't even care if I stay up a little bit later tonight. I don't care what's going on. This is fun, and I love coming here, and I will continue to come here as long as we'll keep doing it, because it is, regardless of what's going on. Even if I'm in a wonderful week, I'm still coming. But on the harder weeks, this is such a step away from the norm, and I'm so thankful for it. So
it is. It's a step out from reality, right? It's like this is its own little world and its own little vortex.
Yeah, welcome to fucking Letterkenny.
I mean, everybody needs their release, and this is your guys' release.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
This is what makes you guys happy.
Yeah, Chad, go ahead. Give us your last.
Just thank you for having me on again. I was looking forward to this like literally all week. Come Monday, I was like, I fucking can't wait. I actually have a good fucking episode. Apparently, Victor needs to rewatch this fucking episode
after a long nap. Yeah,
he's a lost cause, man.
I mean, he's a lost cause. At least watch it one more time, Victor. You know, you might turn your mind around. No,
all right. Maybe I need to watch it with somebody else. I watched it in seclusion after a long, hard day, but I might give it another. Maybe Tanya and I will watch it together.
There you go.
Yeah, you two need to rewatch this episode, because this is top tiered Letterkenny, guys. First of all, I love you guys. I love how you guys are always doing this, and I love the post shows. It's always a fun time just sit and chat with everybody. I love the community that you made around it. I mean, I'm, like I said, looking forward to this, and it was a fun time being here, guys.
All right. Thank you, bud. I'm playing us off here with a song from this episode called In Mind by the band Do Make Say Think.
Do what?
Do Make Say Think.
Your tongue.
I know. It's a nice song, though. It's a pleasant song. I believe this is what they're playing during the Sudbury montage.
Yeah, it is.
Let that marinate for
Is that a banjo?
Might be a banjo in the background there. Anyway.
That's a lullaby.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm about to go to bed.
Got the guitar out. That's all we have for this episode. Next week, we will be joined by the voice of God, Dennis Guggen, for episode 6 of season 9, Breastaurant. Breastaurant, yes.
Restaurant or breast?
Breast is in boobs.
It was boobs. Yes. Okay.
Don't forget to give our sponsor, Diabolical Coffee, some love. They're at diabolicalcoffee.com.
Give it a little.
Right now, you can use, by the way, Tanya
video
just
version of this podcast.
Tanya really just helped me out with the Riley version so I can show. Anyway, you don't want to know.
That was really good.
They're at diabolicalcoffee.com. Thank you for doing that during the sponsor read too. Right now, you can use the promo code ProduceStand for 10% off any purchase from their site. If you'd like to support the podcast, rate us on iTunes or become a patron. There is a Patreon link on our site or Twitter profile at ProduceStandPod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at ProduceStandPod. Thanks for joining us. Now we're going to play some Monopoly and then watch some Rock'em Sock'em 5 and 6, because I don't like Jackass. On behalf of Chad, Matt, Victor, Tanya, I just got a rise from Matt there, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.